huge sale coming up. ASM 1 9.8 CGC. Stay tuned. We got all the facts. What is up, Defects? We're back for another Market Watch video. You've been following us along. We've been following the first appearance of Miles, the Ultimate Fallout 4, Jurjevic 1 in 25 variant. Well, now we're following a book that probably a lot more of you have interest in. It's going to be an Amazing Spider-Man #1, CGC 9.8, and that is a Pedigree edition label. So we're going to break down all the details. We're going to tell you what we think, and then we're going to talk about some other books that have been selling lately at high prices on that very high end of the comic collecting spectrum. But before we do any of that, I'm going to say what up to my boy Butcher. I'm going to pass it over to him. So what up, baby?
Yeah, guys, an Amazing Spider-Man #1 9.8 CGC Pedigree. And for everyone out there that doesn't know what a Pedigree edition is, it's a collection so exceptional it becomes recognized as a Pedigree collection from CGC. The Edgar Church Mile High collection was the first original owner collection to be labeled Pedigree by CGC. So, as of today, CGC recognizes 61 Pedigree collections, and the criteria that you need to meet that to make it get that Pedigree label on your CGC book: a collection must be from the original owner, the collection must be vintage material, the collection must consist of at least 1,000 books, all being rare, important, or keys, and must be in high grade if it's Silver Age 9.2 or higher. As for Golden Age, they have recognized some mid-grade copies of Golden Age books as Pedigree collections, guys. So just a brief little background on that Pedigree label, making it that much more rare.
Yeah, exactly. It's a CGC 9.8 and it's a Pedigree. And I'm glad you broke down the Pedigree, because I know myself, and I'm sure a lot of people watching know what a Pedigree is, but can you fully articulate exactly what the criteria and all the little nuances of it are? And I'm sure some people can, and I'm sure a lot of people can't. So I'm glad you broke that down for us, because I was going to actually ask you that question. So you jumped in front of me. I like it. I appreciate it.
Yep. So everybody has a basic idea where it's from, guys.
All right. So let's get into the book. Let's find the details on the book and what we think this is going to go through. So Jay, when does this auction happen and where is it happening?
Okay, so this is happening December 22nd on Heritage Auctions, guys, and you know there's going to be a ton of eyes on this book.
What do you think it's going to go for? Like, realistically, do you have some of the details of this book, what it sold for in the past, and like, what do you think it's going to go for?
So I have some alleged data, right? And I say alleged because I didn't fact check this, but I did find a thread on Reddit with some experienced guys that have knowledge of this book. So shout out to those guys. I don't want to mention their names because I haven't reached out to them and asked them that permission, but they seem to be very knowledgeable on this book and on the subject. So you could go check that out on Reddit. So allegedly, the first person to buy this book paid $10,000 for it and sold it quickly for $20,000. That then sold even faster for $25,000, and this was all before CGC came about. So the highest sale for this book graded was in June of this year for $520,000, and the sale was listed as abandoned as the purchaser never purchased the book. Its previous sale before that was $330,000. Where do I see this book going? I am going to say, because it did not sell for $520,000, I'm going to say a safe bet for this book, because it's not Spider-Man's first appearance, and it is a Pedigree Amazing Spider-Man #1. I'm going to say in the area of $425,000 to $450,000 is my guess.
Okay. See, I think that mark in June is probably going to hold. I think it's going to be right around that same place, and the reason I'm saying that is because we did a little bit more digging, and it seems like even though the market's going down, the super high-end collectibles keep going up. It's just the stuff that's selling in that $500 million range. And we have a few examples that we'll talk about later. Seems to keep going up because these are like once in a lifetime books that either don't come up for sale, or when they do, there's only a handful of people that can afford them and are bidding on them. And it's like almost like a status symbol. I don't know if people are really collecting these for investability. Maybe they are. But guys, down in the comments, tell us right now what you think this book will sell for. Like I said, I think it'll go around the 500. So me and Jay aren't too far off. That's my guess, right around $500,000. So it's going to be interesting. What do these auctions usually go for? Like, I think 4 weeks, right? 3 weeks on average. I think
pretty much a month. Pretty much
right.
a month. But you see the real action towards the last couple of days. That's when you can gauge basically what it's going to end at. Now, when you do bring this book up, there's been a lot of people in the community talking how essentially this may not be a 9.8. There is a slight miswrap on the book. There's also a slight misstaple if you look at it closely, but both of those are considered a manufacturing defect. So CGC did not take out for those. I mean, granted, no one's going to crack this book out, right? But
Right.
if you were to, it brings back the old question: is it really a 9.8? I mean, this book ain't getting cracked nowhere. Whoever's going to keep this book is going to have an ASM #1 from 1963 and a CGC 9.8 Pedigree edition. So this is going to be a heavy hitter. To keep this book in a 9.8 for so long is absolutely incredible. Incredible.
And it's funny that you said that. It has a mis and we know for 9.8s in a older book, some people will pass on something that's miswrapped or has a misstaple because they want the best one they could have. The difference here is, and I'm gonna double check it. I looked at it earlier really quick. I believe there's only 2 of these on the census, so it's not like we're gonna find a slew of these and they're gonna be more 9.8s. There's probably never gonna be another 9.8 ASM one, and if there is,
Now,
go ahead.
is the other copy a Pedigree, or is this the only Pedigree?
Well, that's I'll look it up. I'll put it on the screen after the video. I'll do that for you guys. But it's not like you can wait for the next one, right? Because
right, yeah.
it's not like these things come up for sale all the time. So chances are that is not going to affect the people bidding on this book because they know that this will probably be the only chance maybe that they ever get to own this book. So it shouldn't affect the price because of that fact. If there was like 20 or 30 of these and they came up for sale like once a year, every other year, then I could say that being hurting the dollar amount on this book. But the fact that there's only 2, I don't think that's going to hurt the dollar amount at all. So,
looking to clean and press your books before submission? Well, look no further than the best in the business, Erod 212 with Express Comic Book Pressing Service. Defects 10 gets you 10% off. Erod will submit your books to CGC and CBCS and pass along his discount. Hit him up on Instagram or email expresscbp@yahoo.com.
and guys, speaking of, we talked about first appearance versus first in title, right? And we talked about high-end collectability still being on the rise of these super high-end books. So recently, and 2 books that me and Jay have been following, a Batman #1, 1.8, sold on Comic Link, and a Detective Comics #27, first appearance of Batman. So just the cover, okay? And the back cover was married, so it wasn't even an original. So the cover was a green label, no grade CVR, which is just cover. I'll put it up on screen right now. Great looking cover. Sold for $221,000, guys. This is the cover only, back cover married. It has a hole on the spine, but the colors are fantastic. So again, the high-end collectability stuff still going strong. And then a Batman 1.8 CVA. And those of you aren't familiar with the CVA grade from CGC, it basically means that it presents better than the grade, but something is going on with the book that lowers the grade that much down. So it was a 1.8, but it looks like, I don't know, you guys be the judge. To me, by my eye, looks like a 3. But it got that CVA because that's how good it looks. This sold for $111,000, guys. That's bananas. And then rounding out just kind of some of the recent high-end sales that CGC has reported kind of in their news section. These were all in November. A Superman #130. Off-white pages sold for $300,000 on Heritage, guys. So these are crazy numbers. These are numbers that just keep going higher on these once in a lifetime type collectibles. And we thought that it would be cool to kind of throw those into the mix with what's happening coming up next, or I should say, the end of this month with an ASM #1 CGC 9.8. All right, guys. So that wraps up short little video today. We wanted to bring this to light because we thought that this was a really cool thing. It's something cool that we can, we've been doing some videos of like, negative stuff, and a lot of people have been following some of the stuff, the market falling and this and that. This is a cool video that we can, maybe something on the rise, right? A book that's going to sell more than it's ever sold before. So this is something cool to follow. So guys, do us a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. We appreciate you. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're putting out new content every Tuesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Guys, go check out the latest new comic book day video for December. Winners did not claim the prize yet, so run over there, look at it. It'll be right at the end of this video. It'll probably pop up. If not, go search for it. And that's it, Defects. So we'll catch you on the next video.